Hello there, YouTube, and welcome back to Complete Rage. As always, I'm your host, Aces of Asius, and I lied to you. I said that I was going to be doing a Geometry Wars video today, but I just got done watching Civil War, and I can't take up an opportunity to review this movie. As I said before, I did want to try to incorporate reviews with the channel, and I feel like Civil War is just a great way to start. So this is definitively a spoiler alert. I'm going to try to say as little about anything as possible about specific details of the movie, but I kind of get a little just caught up in things that I say whenever I am talking. But at the same time, I don't want to be completely boring. So we're going to play a little bit of Slither.io while I tell you just general things that I took away from the experience that is Marvel's Civil War. So let's just hop right in and get a game started. And I'm going to be playing terribly because I really want to talk about this. And to start off, let's just, get it out of the way. It is a Captain America movie. I am Team Iron Man. For the most part, I know that he was a villain, kind of the villain in the comic book. Towards the end, he was definitely the villain. We'll say that. It was kind of crazy. But, I could see the promise of the Registration Act. And that, especially people like Peter Parker could operate as Spider-Man but be free to do so without having to worry about his family, without having to worry about that. And I know that he's, like, once you take your mask off, it's dangerous, people can get hurt. But at the same time, the Registration Act would police the superheroes. And, how many police officers fear their... Damn it, I died. And I'm trying to make a point here, and I'm failing to do so. It's a little bit more difficult than I thought. But the Registration Act, I could see its pros, and obviously there are a lot of cons. Which is why the whole Civil War happened. But the movie turned the Registration Act into the Sokovia Accords. And that's not a spoiler. Everyone knows that the Sokovia Accords are going to be a part of the Civil War thing to some form. I am happy with how they brought them to bear with what happened in, the beginning of the movie with there was a terrorist attack that cost some innocent lives because of, we'll call it a poorly diverted shot to keep it from being as spoilery as possible, but it was unfortunately at the hands of the Avengers that some innocent lives were lost, even though it was kind of Crossbones' doing, which I am very happy with how they kind of handled Crossbones, because he was so motivated with, kind of getting back at Cap, but Cap still just takes it to him. And it's like, oh, well, you can be mad at me all you want, bro, but we're going to go ahead and just chop that little bit right off. And I love the guy that they had for Crossbones. They really, to me, made Crossbones very real. And I love that they kind of built Crossbones up a little bit. And, I mean, no, he's not like a major character or anything. But it's at the same time, it's like, they did Crossbones pretty well over the Captain America movies. From somewhat of a kind of an ally to an enemy. And then he becomes Crossbones because of the events of, Winter Soldier. And I thought that was really cool. Like, he wasn't quite Crossbones until, boom, Steve kind of makes this whole unfortunate event for him. I mean, well, he's a douche nugget, so, whatever. Sorry, Crossbones is a douche nugget. Everyone knows that Crossbones is a douche nugget. Why are you running into me for? So, I'm very happy with how they handled the Accords, and I was very pleased to see that everyone was kind of addressing the whole thing. Like it followed the comic book. I mean, well, it didn't follow the comics, but it did a very wonderful job of being aware that, all the heroes are friends. And they showed it so well. They showed everyone's relationships, and I was really digging their portrayal of Vision and Witches kind of. It's not quite a thing yet in there, but I mean they are definitely nodding towards Vision and Scarlet becoming a thing, which is definitely a thing. So I'm very happy with that. And God, just Vision talking to Witch about like how the world sees her and stuff was great. And his, now I won't say innocence because I guess it is a naivety, but I'm just loving. I love a lot of the Vision. Let's start with things. Let's just get into some things I did not like. I didn't like Zemo. I did not like the way they did Zemo at all. Just felt like Zemo was just, I don't know, he just wasn't doing, like, the portrayal of him wasn't doing it for me. Zemo's a big time Cap villain, and he kind of just seemed like an afterthought. And I mean, he wasn't even really villain-esque. It's just he kind of like set up like just a way for everyone to fight, which I get, but like, I mean, he didn't even put on the purple hood. I like the actor they got for him, and I do kind of like how devious he was, but it wasn't really Zemo, And maybe I'm just being nitpicky here, but like, I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't to my tastes. I mean, it was good. It was good. It could have been better, I guess, is where I'm going here. Zemo could have been treated a little bit better, and it would have been great. But I don't know. Civil War is by far one of my all-time favorite comic book runs. Besides, well, I mean, Deadpool is my favorite character, but Civil War was one that I've loved for a long time. And my friend didn't believe me when they said when I said that when I heard the Avengers Initiative was happening, I was like, they're going to do Civil War too, and he's like, they won't do Civil War, it's too risky, there's too many heroes involved. It's like, I mean, if they're going for the Avengers, they're going for a lot of heroes, so I think that they will. I think they will for sure go for one of the biggest moments in comic book history. Because, I mean, Civil War was so impactful. And I do love how kind of, like, once again, they did so well at getting everyone involved. It definitely wasn't like Dawn of Justice where, characters were afterthoughts or anything. Because they really weren't. Like, no one was treated like an afterthought besides Zemo. Which he did feel like an afterthought to me. He really, really did. But, like, the inclusion of Ant-Man, I thought was just going to be dumb. I thought it was going to be stupid. I didn't think that Ant-Man needed to be involved. I will admit that I'm not a huge fan of Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. But I will have to kind of go back on that, of what I just said right now, because him in Civil War was just... He really just, I don't know, he added another level of heart to it, I guess. I don't know really how else to put it. But just, I mean, if you watch it, it's just like, I mean, without, spoilers, trying to be too spoilery, it's like, throughout the whole thing, it's like, who are you? Who are you? This guy here, like, who is this guy? Cap and Iron Man are both like, what? Who's this guy? But just, and he really... I didn't think he would be that useful in the big fight of the movie, but he pulled off some cool stuff, and he gave me a nod to one of the real moments of the Civil War, and I don't know if you caught it, I almost didn't, but when he makes the comment of, if I rip myself in half, blah 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 blah, and, poor Giant Man. Obviously, that moment wasn't going to happen because Thor wasn't in the movie, but, man, just remembering that panel of Thor ripping Giant Man in half, oof, that was some real stuff. But they couldn't do it, and so they went with the next best thing, which was just crack a joke and give a nod to it. So, at least they referenced one of the bigger moments of Civil War, and I am just so happy with the movie. I am very happy with the overall movie. It is very well done. But the part that I am happiest with is Spider-Man. It was the same as like when I was watching Dawn of Justice and Wonder Woman got down to business. Like, it's just, you can't argue. Like, that is Wonder Woman. That is Spider-Man. You know, I thought Tobey Maguire was doing a pretty good Peter Parker, but didn't quite nail Spider-Man. I thought that Andrew Garfield did a great Peter Parker, but was not a great Peter Parker. He did a great Spider-Man, but his Peter Parker wasn't believable. This kid has it all. He's super, like, it was so funny because he was so dorky and, like, he was nerding out with everyone around. And, oh gosh, and he was still just, like, you know, he's like, I'm huge fans of, like, all you guys. I'm kicking your asses. You know, very in your face, very edgy, very amazing. He was an amazing character, and I love the new Spider-Man. I didn't know about Homecoming until recently, but oh man, that is on my calendar already just because of this kid's performance. And, you know, gosh, he was just so fantastically entertaining. And, you know, as being a Deadpool fan, you know, I come across, you know, Spider-Man a lot in comics just because, you know, who Deadpool is and just his constant references to Spider-Man, which I love, by the way. I love that, you know, Deadpool kind of bros to Spider-Man against Spider-Man, which is really, you know, I don't know if y'all know that or not, but if you read comics, you know that that Deadpool is just a thorn in everyone's side, and he is a wonderful thorn in everyone's side, and he should be just worshipped by everyone. I love Deadpool. But he wasn't in this movie, though I would love to see a cameo. I would kill for a Deadpool cameo in a major MCU title. That would be the greatest thing. Quick side note, and I don't know if any of you are aware of this or anything, but I am on Imgur. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I've never heard anyone say it, but IMGUR. And there was a thing that was like talking about, you know, Deadpool making a cameo in a major MCU movie. And it has like, you know, I wouldn't want Deadpool to play any major role. I would just want him to be, you know, it's a super serious scene, everyone's talking around a table, and just in the background, there's Wade, microwaving a chimichanga. And all of a sudden, you know, like, Tony notices and is like, what are you doing here? And he's like, shit, I've been found out. And just, like, leaps out of a window. And, like, you hear him, like, crash into a car. He goes, what the shit, Parker? And I was like, I think, God, that would be amazing. That would be truly fantastic. I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but just some kind of minor, hey, Deadpool. I don't know, it'll never happen because Fox is a bunch of dick nuggets that can't make a great movie. Except for Deadpool, which, in my opinion, got a 92 out of 100. Ugh. Why am I concentrating on the game? I don't care. I don't care about gaming right now. I'm trying to review a movie. Ah, man. But, okay, let's get back to it. Steve Rogers, you know, is, gosh, I can barely, you know, Chris Evans, it's like every movie he does as Cap, he's just, you know, like, do you even see Chris Evans anymore? I see Captain America when I see Chris Evans. Like, I mean, I went back and watched freaking, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I was like, gosh, you know, Cap's really weird in this. Cap needs to, why is Cap such a douche? And then, I was like, oh, it's, you know, it's a completely different role. He has become Captain America to me, and I know that we're probably going to lose him at some point because he is kind of tired of doing the movies. And I'm sad to hear that because he is Captain America. He's got the look, he's got just his way, you know. He's like the Boy Scout. You don't mind that's a Boy Scout because he's a really just down to earth, honest guy. And gosh, him and Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. are just, they're made for these roles, and it's so hard to like think of the comic as the actors as anything other than their comic book selves. And gosh, you know, and I thought that the fight was going to be a bit more, I didn't realize how great they were of a job they were going to do at pitting Cap against Iron Man and just making it feel real and everything. And I have to admit, at first I was kind of against Hal, cause let's just say it was kind of reminiscent of Dawn of Justice, except the name drop had the reverse effect. We'll say it that way. But I don't want my comic movies to become like your mom joke. I don't. But I felt this way around, and at first, like it's like Tony's more calm and collected. I mean, is a lot more intelligent than to be swayed by actions of the past, especially actions of someone who's under brain control. But then it took me to realize too, it's like Tony Stark, for all of his ways and everything, is a really emotional guy. He may be really smart, but he is also a very emotional guy, and he hides it and everything. But like he is, I mean, when he gets down to it, he's really a child. I think. It's kind of the impression. Like not he's childlike, as most people, I would imagine, who would have been through any amount of things that he's been through, would be a bit more naive. Is not the word. It's not the word that I'm looking for here. I am trying to find a way to say this, and I am blanking. I came straight from the theater, and I'm making this. I'm not prepared. I haven't made notes. I haven't really. I'm giving you from the I just got done watching this thing review, and I'm trying to piece all of it together, because it's like there's so much to take away from a movie like Civil War. So many roles were well done, and another thing to bring up: Black Panther. Black Panther is, when Marvel hits one out of the park, they just don't miss, do they? I mean, they got a great Spider-Man, they've got a great Black Panther, they have a great Iron Man, they have a great Captain America, they have a great Thor. Jesus, it's like all these characters are so well cast. It's like, jeebus, can you not be awesome, Marvel? Can you not? And I don't mean to fanboy. Like I said, I do have discrepancies with the movie. The biggest one being Zemo. The other big discrepancy I have, though, is... Alright, so... I have to say I was rather pumped to see a fight between... I was kind of thinking that they were going to Dawn of Justice. And by that, I mean I thought that, especially when I found out that, Iron Man was going to find Cap as his friend, and it was like, but I still, there's still obviously another fight scene between him and Cap, so I was, like, maybe they're gonna fight and become buddy, and then fight some freaking super soldiers, cause I definitely thought that fight was gonna happen, and from the little teaser of, like, what happened in the cells and everything, and like, that fight's gonna kick some major booty fight. And it did happen, and I was like, "Oh!" my inner squee died a little, but that's just me being a butt. Oh gosh, but like that. I mean, but at the same time, that would have probably been a bit more on the lines of, "Hey, it's just the Extremist guys all over again, except a lot more badass." Which, oh man, like I was. But then, like, you get there, and it's just like the reveal is that Zemo is just using this moment to just web them in, get them to fight each other. But and that's another big discrepancy I have. It's like he went for Cap and Iron Man, like almost specifically, but it was the Avengers as a team that called Sokovia to happen. I mean, to an extent, it's mostly Tony's fault, but. I mean, it was a collective team that was in Sokovia dealing with, Ultron and stopping him and things of that nature. But like he really, like, in the end, singled out Tony and Cap. And I don't, like, where was? I mean, one could argue that it was just themselves, really, that were doing the internal stuff. It wasn't, Tony's the one that, kind of was being a dick to Scarlet Witch. like she put it, locking her in her room, which you did, Tony. You did that. You know, that is totally a you thing, and you are a bad parent. Bad parenting, Tony. Though you don't have the best role model in that department, do you? Oh, dad joke. Oh, I went there. Damn it, I died. I shouldn't talk shit about Tony. I love Tony. Like I said, I was Team Stark. But, Vision didn't really have a whole Civil War moment. He was just, he was kind of, well, I need to take that back right now, because he had a very real Civil War moment, which almost gave us the real moment of the movie, which, and not to say anything about the injury that happened, but, Civil War had Giant Man getting ripped in half by Thor's clone. Thor's clore. God, my English is bad. And, that was just, it ripped, and like that moment, like, I don't care who you are, when you read that, it just kind of killed you inside, when Giant Man just, like, you just witnessed this brutal act, and it was an accident. I mean, as far as Vision goes, that's about as good as you're going to get, I guess, because he is kind of, it's hard to make him mess up. But, geez, and, there was, the consequences, they even, like, retcon the permanency of the injury with, Tony and Rhodey talking towards the end and hanging out and everything. He's got the prosthetics on, and, well, not prosthetics, but just, he's walking around. Oh, fuck, duck. Wow, that is a field of flowery stuff. And Marvel's having a real problem with the permanency issue. And they killed off Quicksilver. Fine, but they kind of had to do that with, Fox doing, their version of Apocalypse was superior. Oh no, Apocalypse, god damn it. Their version of Quicksilver is superior, but, with Quicksilver being a major player in both Days of Future Past and, X-Men Apocalypse, they obviously, you don't want two Quicksilvers rolling around, because, it's gonna piss everyone off, and we just won't go there. But, when they killed Pietro, it was like, that had a real weight to it, and that made a real moment. I'm not saying that I want, Rhodey to die, or anything like that. It's just like, you can't just keep having these near misses. You can't just keep near missing us. Cap was supposed to die. Cap's supposed to get shot in the head by Crossbones. And like the whole movie, like, I hate to say it, but I was like, who is gonna die? Because like there has to be a major death in Civil War. There has to be at least one, and there wasn't one in that. And as morbid as it sounded, it really disappoints me that they didn't go for it. It was a great time to, like, I know that both Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are tired in their roles. As much as we love them in their roles, because they are truly awesome at both characters that they play. They really are. But I know that they both don't plan on being in their roles for much longer. I know that they're probably all going to be in the third Avengers, which, sure. Okay, but then, there had to be, like, a way for them to still give us the impactful moments that were brought to you by the comic books. And, I don't know. Because, even Cap comes back after the shot in the head. But, I don't know. Civil War was just lacking that big punch, and Rhodey's, the whole thing with Rhodey came really close. It did. It came very close. And someone laughed, by the way, when Iron Man pulsed freaking Falcon, and I wanted to punch them. I was like, this is not a moment to be laughing. This is, Avenger down. Avenger down. No one's laughing right now. Why are you laughing? This is this isn't when Thor and Hulk had that like, hey, our fight's not over. This is we almost lost someone, and you know, and I knew he wasn't, and it's, the heart thing, yeah. I'm not saying that I want, my favorite Marvel characters to die, because I don't. I don't want anyone to die at all. But I don't know. Like, I was expecting it, and it was the same with the Deadpool movie. When I found out that neither Dr. Kilgrew or Lady Death would be showing up, it was like, it's not huge. To me, Lady Death is huge. It's not huge, but it's still it's still an integral part of the story you're telling. Maybe I'm just being too nitpicky. I think I am. A character doesn't have to die for it to be Civil Wars, but Jesus. Now, I do also kind of think the movie didn't really resolve at all. It's like they're fighting. It's like Iron Man can't get back up, but it's like, and then there's the letter from Steve. Alright, I'm back. That was my girlfriend. She is on her way here, so I'm going to try and wrap this up. I'm doing a horrible job of staying on topic. I am rambling. But like I said, I didn't come into this prepared. I just got done watching the movie. And I will say, on the whole, like, it is fantastic. And as being a huge fan of the comic book run, with the parts that were missing, I think they did a really good job. Much better than Age of Ultron, as on the whole. And another thing that I really wanted to quickly address is something that I was worried about from, kind of the rumor mill that I'd been hearing about the movie and like the jokes and stuff. I was like, Civil War is a very serious moment. I was kind of worried that the movie was going to be a bit too jokey. And I will say that the film does a fantastic job of juggling jokes in the right times. Like, they took very many a time was there a serious scene going on, and there was a quip here and there, but like it was presented in such a way like where the quip didn't take away from anything. It didn't change the state of wow, I suck. It didn't change the state of the situation they were in. It was just a quick like, hey, blah, funny moment kind of thing. That's reminding me of my favorite moment of the movie is definitely Spider-Man versus Falcon and Winter Soldier. Him in that little bit was so wonderful. You have the right to remain silent. I couldn't stop laughing the whole time Spider-Man was on screen. He's so perfect because, like, he's kind of got that, like, he's got the arrogant charm of Spider-Man and his outfit, but like, at the same time, it's so nerdy. It's so Peter. It's so Peter Parker. Like, oh, he is, without a doubt, the definitive Spider-Man. Hands down. Wonderful job. Bravo, sir. I cannot say it enough how wonderful Spider-Man is. I am looking forward to Homecoming. But this movie was great in a lot of other areas. Spider-Man was fantastic. The storyline was fantastic. It was very, very well done because, it's so hard to take friends and pit them against each other. And I just don't like either Zemo or the Resolution. I really don't like the Resolution because, like, he gets the letter from Cap and, he's reading it and he's like, if you need me, it's like, I'm sorry, but if I'm Tony, like, and he's had time to think about it and everything, and sure, he's got his head on his shoulders at that point, but it's like, gosh, I mean, maybe, Cap knows that they're so I'm just being too rough on it now. Because, Tony's had a moment to sit back and kind of be like, look at it from a more intelligent point of view. Okay. But, in this I just thought, in the heat of the moment, I thought it was a bit kind of just like, I know you're kind of like, you kind of hate me right now, but hey, if you need a friend, I'm a friend. Cap's unyielding Boy Scoutishness can get a little old sometimes. Just because I'm not sure if this is a weakness of mine or whatever, but when I'm reading a book, watching a movie, or in any kind of storyline, I just find myself thinking of the characters as friends, and that is so nerdy of me to say. Gosh, I'm a nerd. But I just find that I seem to always that I find some kind of identification with the characters. And that's probably true for a lot of people. When I see this, when I saw the resolution of the movie, it just felt like, and when I'm at it, and like, okay, I try to step back for. Oh, you almost had me. Gosh, stop distracting me. I'm trying to talk. Maybe I really shouldn't be doing this while playing a video game. But and did I? I'm gonna wrap this up here. I really think that the movie's awesome, and I want everyone to go out and see this because it is so worth watching. It's just, that resolution just kind of, to the audience, it just happened. Obviously, Tony's had a day or two to kind of like decompress and think about it and everything, but still, like, that fight like just happened, and like we just have Tony lying on the ground, barely super powerful enough to even stand, and it's like, and it's like, that's still with us, and that hardcore fight scene's still with us, and I don't know, it's kind of, to me, cheapened it just that much, but I know that they're going to have to move forward as, at least working together to some degree for the new Avengers, which, Infinity Gauntlet, give me Thanos, give me Thanos. But as I said, wonderful movie. I think, for the most part, everything was handled pretty well. Zemo could have been better. Zemo could have been a lot better. And, but, I mean, nitpicking. Crossbones was awesome. I wish he were in the movie more. Though, very unexpected. Very unexpected. Did not see that coming. And I guess my biggest complaints are just the impactfulness as a whole, the resolution, and the Zemo, the resolution, and that's really about it. Zemo and the resolution, and I guess the overall impactfulness of it, because Civil War rocked the comic book world. This one rocked. It rocked and rolled, but it didn't punch you as hard as the comic books did. And I kind of was, especially with Infinity Gauntlet being the next big thing, like, it's time for the movies to start punching a little bit. It's like, they've been tongue-in-cheek for a while. Like, I was expecting the first real doozy of a haymaker here, and it didn't quite give it that. And I was, I thought it was time for that haymaker to happen. And it still is time for that haymaker to happen, though. We're probably going to get that in Ragnarok, because we're in for a ride there, too, if they go anywhere near Ragnarok, which they are. So, that's really all I got, guys. I really enjoyed Civil War. I really did. I guess my complete standing of the movie would be at about a 91. 91 out of 100. Would see again. Would see again. Absolutely. But that does it for my first review. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.